Now, ladies and gentlemen, live from Edison International Field of Anaheim, Fox Sports West is proud to present Major League Baseball as tonight the Anaheim Angels play host to the Seattle Mariners. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Angels Baseball here on Fox Sports West. I'm Bill McDonald, pinch hitting again for Steve Physiak, alongside George Sparky Anderson and the first place Angels. They have won 9 out of 10, and once again tonight they give the ball to a rookie, Jarrod Washburn, who's our Lexus player profile, who has just pitched brilliantly the last 2 times out.
Yeah, and everybody from Seattle is asking me about Olivares last night. Now they're asking me about Washburn tonight. I said he's not overpowering, but he can pitch a little bit.
He can pitch, and last time out, 18 runs in support at Texas. And it's funny, every time Jarrod pitches, it seems as though something strange happens. Remember his debut? That's when they fought in Kansas City.
Well, you know, that's a good sign, though. I like to have a guy that things happen wild when he pitches, as long as he wins.
We're telling you that because we want you to stick around. We think we have a good one tonight. The Angels look to sweep the series from the Seattle Mariners. And you know who's on the spotlight tonight? Junior and Darren Erstad. We'll have it all for you right after this. Stay with us. To welcome those viewers from Fox Sports Arizona and Fox Sports New York watching baseball. I'm Bill McDonald along with Sparky Anderson at Edison International Field of Anaheim. We are live with Angels baseball tonight, and what an absolutely gorgeous day it was in Southern California. Sparky, summertime is here. School is out as of today. We are ready for a great summer of baseball, not only here but across the country. Right now the Angels in first place in the West by a game, because Texas beat Oakland this afternoon by the score of 3-2.
Well, I think, Bill, that the way the Angels have been playing, they brought this weather. They brought it out. When you're playing well, you bring out good things, and I think we'll have 4 months of beautiful weather. That means 4 months of good baseball.
Let the sun shine as the Angels are about to take the field. Going to have another good crowd here tonight at Edison International Field of Anaheim, as the crowd will roar as the Angels take the field. Let's take a look at the Seattle Mariners lineup. This is the lineup that Lou Piniella envisioned from day one, but with injuries, they haven't put this 9 on the field that often. Joey Cora will lead it off. Jarrod, still just 22 years of age. He's already passed last year's home run total. You know all about Junior. He'll be hitting third, and he is well over 300 home runs in his career. Jay Buhner has been back for a week or so. David Segui, one of the most unsung stars in all of baseball, really, coming over from the National League. Edgar Martinez, the DH. Glenn Allen Hill has been banged up a bit out in left. Dan Wilson, who went deep last night, and Russ Davis will be at the hot corner and batting ninth. It's always nice to have somebody who hit 20 home runs batting ninth in your lineup. And Sparky, here's the rookie, Jarrod Washburn, coming in with a 2.29 ERA and 2-0 on the year.
Well, he's a left-hander, and he's a big left-hander. And what he does, they can throw that gun away. That gun don't mean anything. He's an 86, 87 fastball, got a breaking ball, and he's got a change. But what he does, being left-handed and being able to command your pitches, you're going to win ball games. This young kid doesn't even have his feet on the ground yet.
No, he doesn't. Plenty of starts, of course, in the minor leagues. Just his 4th start in the show. He has pitched against Kansas City, Colorado, and Texas. Won his first game, that fight-marred outing against Kansas City. It was a 7-5 decision. Had a no decision at home against the Rockies. Then was the beneficiary of all those runs down at Arlington when the Angels won 18-6. Defensively for the Anaheim Angels, Erstad, Edmonds, and Anderson can go get him in the outfield. Hollins, Gary DiSarcina, only 2 errors in his last 33. One was just this past weekend down in Texas. Justin Bachman, Cecil Fielder, Nevin again behind the plate, and Washburn throwing him down for Anaheim. Facing Joey Cora, and we are underway. Hope you enjoyed tonight from Anaheim. Cora last night took the night off. Doesn't often do that, but Lou Piniella gave him a rest last evening. Cecil Fielder hits to Washburn. 1 away.
I tell people, and they don't believe me, but he's an excellent fielder. Any ball he can get his hands on, you're going to be out.
He made a couple of fine plays last night also in the Angel win. Yeah, don't let that size on Big Daddy fool you. He is nimble. He is quick. 877 career games at first. Yankees in Cleveland. Yankees breaking it open a bit in the ninth. 5-2. 3 runs in that ninth frame. Washburn now to Alex Rodriguez. Just off the plate. 1-0. Rodriguez, of course, as I mentioned, he will turn 23 the end of next month. When you talk about top hitting shortstops in the major leagues, Jarrod and Nomar Garciaparra go hand in hand. So Gary DiSarcina this year swinging a great stick over 300. Count 2-0. Washburn working quickly. Fouled right back to the screen. It's 2-1. Actually, Gary DiSarcina has a better average than Jarrod this year, 309 to 297. A couple of years ago, in his first full year, Rodriguez led the league in hitting at 358, and they both can flash the leather. 2-1. 3-1, and on deck, of course, Ken Griffey Jr. Rodriguez, there's Jr. Combining those two have hit 50 home runs this year, the top duo in Major League Baseball. All sorts of records going Alex Rodriguez's way in 1996 at the age of 21. Swings through that Washburn delivery, and the count is full, 3-2.
That's the thing about this young man. He doesn't seem to have any lack of confidence. And when you get a left-handed pitcher that doesn't worry about things, you're getting a pretty good pitcher.
3-2 to Rodriguez. Got him looking on the corner. Strike 3. Down goes Jarrod. 2 gone here in the top of the first.
Well, that's a pretty good look at young left-hander. Sometimes when you have somebody go down, you end up coming up with something better.
Great location. Outside knees, and Rodriguez was hoping, but then he knew it. Washburn led the Texas League in strikeouts last year. Here's Griffey. 28 years of age, and what more can you say? Swing and a miss. Took the collar last night, went 0 for 4. The shift for Griffey. You can see DiSarcina straight over the bag at second. The outfield shaded a bit, but it's the infield, as you can see, playing Griffey to pull.
Yeah, you let him have anything, he wants to hit that other way.
Holland's the only one patrolling that side of the infield. 1-1. 26 home runs for Griff, and with McGuire going deep again tonight, if you have not heard, he has 33 now. Griffey trying to keep pace on the Roger Maris chase. He's on pace for 59 as we speak. McGuire on pace for 76 bombs. 2-1. In fact, we were watching right before the telecast McGuire go deep again.
He went deep. He went up so far up the upper deck.
Yeah. Which was a contrast to when he went deep last night, which got about 15 feet off the ground and got out in a hurry. Fouled away. 2-2. 2 out, just the start of the ball game. 74 degrees at game time. Perfect night for baseball. And if you have not seen it, this is the revamped, remodeled Big A, now the Big Ed, Edison International Field of Anaheim. Jarrod Washburn, 2-2. 3-2 again. On deck, Jay Buhner. Only one other player has more home runs this decade than Ken Griffey. That's Barry Bonds. And that one is high and deep. If it's fair, it's gone. Home run, Ken Griffey Jr. And that is number 321 lifetime. His 27th this year. He went deep 56 times last season.
I would always suggest with Griffey, don't go down. Get up and in, but don't go down. You go down and then you're in his sweep.
So last year's MVP puts the Mariners on top 1-0, and here's Buhner. Griffey's 65th all-time now on the home run list and only 28 years of age. And he had been struggling in this series up until then. Here's another one of the home run mates. Griffey calls him affectionately the Bald Bambino. Jay Buhner, just the 12th game of the season, coming back after knee surgery in April. Washburn, swing and a miss. Jay's been out since April the 6th, had surgery on April 28th, came back on June 11th. Washburn rocks into his motion, 1-2 delivery. Fastball, foul straight back.
I like him. I like the way he drives towards the plate. And you know something? He makes good pitches. He made a good pitch on Griffey, except you can't go down. Now, that's the one thing he will learn on Griffey. Don't go down and in with him.
Here's the 1-2. Swung on and missed. So Washburn racks up 2 strikeouts, but Griffey takes him deep. And after the first half inning with Junior putting his team on the board, the M's won. And the Halos coming to bat. Erstad, Hollins, and Edmund. 27th Jack of the year, and the M's are on top of the Angels, 1-0. Take a look at the Angels lineup. Terry Collins sends out Darren Erstad, the Southwest Airlines lineup. Dave Hollins will hit second. Jim Edmonds, one of the hot Angels, 350 in the last 25, playing great defense too. Tim Salmon, despite the bad foot, 3 home runs, 8 RBIs in the last 6 games. Cecil down at first. Garrett Anderson has found his power stroke again. He has a home run against Jamie Moyer lifetime and hitting .500. Nevin once again behind the dish, and he is hitting 7th. Bachman and DiSarcina rounds out the Angels lineup to face veteran 35-year-old Jamie Moyer.
But he can pitch. He knows how to pitch. He'll never give in to you, Bill. That's the thing with him. He just refuses to give in.
And Sparky's coming off of his best outing, best start of the year. A 3-hit shutout, 5-0 up at Oakland last Friday. Complete game shutout win for Jamie Moyer. Here's his line for the season, and he is the master of the changeup. Facing Darren Erstad, who hit the big blow last night in the 7th inning to put the Angels back on top in a game they eventually won by the score of 4-2. Darren, the current American League Player of the Week. 1-1. Jamie Moyer delivers. Final now in Cleveland. The Yankees continue to roll, scoring 3 in the 9th and beating the Indians 5-2. They now have 49 wins on the air, the best in baseball, 49-16 for Joe Torre's club. El Duque gave him another good outing tonight. This one lifted to left. Glenn Allen Hill, 1 away. Defensively for the Mariners, Hill, who's trying to solidify that left field spot. It's been a rotating door for many years there. Griffey and Buhner. Davis back at third, had the night off last night. Rodriguez, Cora. Although the defense has not been good, this is the worst defensive team in the American League. Segui over at first, Wilson behind the plate, and Moyer, of course, is your pitcher. 63 total errors for the Mariners this year. Worst fielding team in the AL. Here's Hollins. And that's just one of their problems, Sparky.
It's one of their problems. Segui is probably the best defensive first baseman in the American League. Other than that, Rodriguez is a very good shortstop, but isn't the top guy. But they are a ball club that their biggest problem has been in their pitching. I mean, Lou hasn't even had a legitimate chance to do anything with his pitching.
With Hollins staring at a 1-1 count. The bullpen, of course, you all know the problems that the bullpen went through late last year, all last year really, and the beginning of this year. It's interesting now, though, the pitching is coming around a bit, though, for Piniella, including the bullpen at times, but now they're not hitting. The most lethal lineup in baseball has not been able to produce the runs over the last few weeks. This one right below us, 2-2. In fact, you look at the numbers for the Mariners. They've lost 22 of 32, 4 in a row. They are 13 games back, the furthest they've been out of first place since August of '95. And the season is quickly slipping away from them. Hollins rips it fair. Down the line, left, chugging for two. Glenn Allen Hill taking his time, and Hollins will stand up at second with a double.
Well, he said, let's don't rush anything right now. We just take our time and throw a strike to third.
He's not going anywhere else.
This ball will be up, right up there for him.
Davis gave it a wave. So with one out, Hollins at second. Jim Edmonds will check in for the Angels. Edmonds, as he stands in, a robust .317 average, 13 home runs. One of four Angels rather, in double-digit home runs, 44 RBIs. Moyer delivers. Low and away, 1-0. So the Angels with an opportunity to tie the game here. If you're just joining us, Griffey hit a first-inning home run, his 27th of the year. Bottom of the first, one on, one out. Edmonds at the plate with Salmon on deck. Moyer in there for a strike, 1-1. Sparky Jamie Moyer has been around. He has pitched in both leagues: Chicago, National League, Texas, St. Louis, Baltimore, Boston, Seattle.
And we had him at Detroit, only we had him in AAA. I wasn't smart enough to have him up at Detroit.
Great control. Second best walk ratio in the American League.
You know, his father-in-law, Digger Phelps, who coached at Notre Dame so many years. Digger's an unbelievable guy. He's a super person. And this young man here, we had him, and we had him in AAA. He was pitching good.
And?
Well, I left him there.
He has had a sensational one-loss record over the last couple of years. Edmonds, 2-2. 30-8 coming into the year. A two-year mark of 30 wins and 8 losses. Best winning percentage in the majors in '96 and '97. After struggling early in his career. Just off, and Edmonds has worked the count to 3-2 with Salmon on deck.
This guy doesn't give in. Now, this here is liable to be a changeup or a breaking ball. He doesn't give in to you.
A few fastballs. And if you have the patience to wait and find it, you could probably rip it. The sequence from catcher Dan Wilson. 3-2 upcoming with Hollins on second. This is going to be caught by Hill. No, bobbled and dropped. Well, he was cavalier on the double by Hollins, and he seemed just as nonchalant on that liner by Edmonds.
Well, Bill, Mr. Hill hasn't been known over his career as the Golden Glove.
Hello. The former surfer from Santa Cruz. That's where he was brought up. Loves to surf. He got caught in the whitewater there. That's more than an adventure. Now runners on the corners for the Angels here in the first, and a chance to get even. Salmon with one out. And Tim's been on a tear. Grounded foul.
How do you think Moyer feels when he looks up at the scoreboard and he's got a hit?
Yeah, they gave him a base hit.
I bet you Moyer thinks
The most generous scoring we've seen in a long time. If that's not an error, we don't know what is.
the only thing that ball did wrong was didn't hit him in the coconut. It hit him in his hands. I guess that
A bad place.
that makes for a hit.
Salmon checks. It's a strike anyway, and he's in the hole 0-2. Cecil on deck. Hollins a one-out double. Then Edmonds a single off of that man, Glenn Allen Hill. Salmon at least an RBI in 6 of his last 7 games. There's Edmonds over at first, being held on by Segui. He homered Sunday off of Rick Helling, Monday off of Bobby Witt. He's got 15 home runs. Low 1-2. Last night, Timmy 1 for 3, a couple of RBIs, had a sacrifice fly and an RBI single in the 4-2 win in support of Omar Oliveros, who threw another strong game for Terry Collins. There's the defense. Shaded a bit towards left for Salmon, and deep. belt. 1-2. Just a bit outside. 2-2. Moyer 6 feet 170. Born in Sellersville, Pennsylvania. Now makes his home in Indiana with his wife and 4 children. A little conference on the mound from Dan Wilson. Pretty good trade for Seattle. They have been active over the last few years, of course, trying to solidify not only their rotation but their bullpen. Old Woody hasn't been afraid to make a deal. Woody Woodward, the GM up in Seattle. 2-2. Now take a look at Edmonds.
They've tried everything, but I'll say this. They haven't solved their bullpen.
No, they haven't. Slocum and Timlin, who are respective closers in Seattle and Toronto and Boston. They have added to the 14 blown saves, the most in the American League. Salmon rips it, but foul. Last year, 29 blown saves for the bullpen. They've already lost 5 when leading after 8 innings, so it's always in doubt with Seattle.
I
We're
think
the first here.
If they work at it, they can beat last year.
I don't think they're going to have to work at it. Moyer, Salmon, 3-2. So good at bat for Tim. Working this to 3-2. Edmonds now, you would assume, would be off here. Hollins over at third. Cecil waiting his turn. There's Dave. Edmonds at first. Salmon ready for the 3-2. There goes Edmonds. That one again way out in front of it and into the seats. He'll come back 3-2. Now the Angels back in first place for Terry Collins, who was out of jail last night. He had served that 8-game suspension, driven him absolutely crazy. They were 6-2 under Joe Maddon, Marcel Lashman and company. Since the fight, 13-2. But they were playing aggressive baseball. I know you and Steve were talking about it last night. The fight sort of solidified the personality of this team. But they were playing that aggressive baseball before that happened.
Absolutely. It's been building for them. They didn't just all of a sudden start it.
16 out of 19. Edmonds again going. Base hit as Edmonds ducks. Hollins will score. Edmonds keeps on going. Cruises into third. And the Angels have tied things up 1-1 on the RBI single from Tim Salmon.
That is an excellent piece of hitting. Rather than to try to pull this guy, he just went right the other way. He stayed back and went the other way with him. That's it. When you watch this, he stays right back and goes right the other way with him.
And nobody there with Cora covering. That created the hole.
Absolutely.
Salmon's RBI count now climbs to 37. And Cecil Fielder. The bird's eye view from the blimp here at the Ed. Bottom of the first, we're tied at 1. There's Big Daddy. You know all about the slump he endured at the beginning of the year. Then that bat got warm and it's cooled off a bit again, so he's due. 11 home runs this year. He had 6 in a 20-game span. To put one out in the fountain here right now. 2 on, 1 out, first inning, 1-1 game. Moyer cued a little bit up along first and foul. 0-2, so Cecil in the hole. Larry Boa coaching down at third. Hendricks over at first, keeping an eye on Tim Salmon. 2. Line to short. Back to first. Got him. Double play to end the inning. And that wasn't hit hard, but Salmon with the bad foot. The quickness not there. Unable to get back to first. And Fielder lines into a double play. So A-Rod gets him out of the inning. Back to Segui. One complete. We are tied at one at the end. Southern California, welcome back. Bill McDonald, Sparky Anderson, and our great crew. As we move to the second inning, let's go back to the double play. Was he out or safe, Sparky? You make the call.
He's safe, but
no,
I'll tell you what, the eye cannot tell that. You needed the camera to show you that. No way in that fast of action can you blame an umpire for a call like that. That's too close.
Mike Everett, first base ump, punching out Tim Salmon to end the inning. It'll be Segui, Martinez, and Hill as Jarrod Washburn goes back to work for the Angels. Switch hitting, David Segui takes a strike. Sparky, I think David is one of the most underrated players in all of Major League Baseball, hitting .345, and his numbers are only going to get better now hitting in a hitter's park like the Kingdom.
Well, I agree with you, Bill. He's so underrated. It's unbelievable. Not many people know about this guy, and he's probably, like you said, one of the 20 top players.
In the top 10 in hitting right now in Major League Baseball. And you mentioned it at the beginning. Was the finest first baseman defensively last year in the National League. Lines out to Gary DiSarcina, one away. And this is the place to be. We'll tell you about Segui's hair in a minute, though. Angel fans, we have a new 10-game mini plan now available for only $68. It includes 10 games for the price of 8, $2 in game tokens for the Pepsi Perfect Game Pavilion, the 98 Anaheim Angels media guide, plus priority for season tickets for next year. Call now, right now, 1-888-796-HALO. That's 1-888-796-4256 for the great 10-game mini plan. Enjoy Angels baseball here at the Ed all summer long. They will be opening up that interactive game area early in July, and it should be something out there in the right field area. Here's Edgar Martinez. 0-1.
What were you going to tell me about Segui's hair?
Well, he dyed it blonde on Monday, and I asked around. I said, why? Change of pace. That seems to always be the answer. You know, when Mike James changes it about once a week, or Rodman does. Change of pace. Felt like it. Can't see it there. We saw it a minute. The hat is back on. Hopefully we'll see it a little bit later. It's just the top of the dome, too, that he dyed. You like it?
Yeah, I really love to see those things. I think, well, you know, I think when you see that type of thing, that's very invigorating. You know, it makes a person just, you feel so good.
That's the word that came to mind to me too. Invigorating for David Segui.
And I'm always for a player any way he can step himself up.
That's a third strikeout for Washburn as Martinez goes down. 2 away. All right, we're speaking of haircuts. There's the bald Bambino. You know, the interesting thing about Buhner, I had a chance to meet him for the first time yesterday. He was a guest on the pregame show, and I had always heard he's one of the nicest guys in all of baseball. And you look at him, and look how menacing he looks.
He's really a good kid.
He's a great guy. This one is lined to right. Right there is Garrett Anderson. Easy 1-2-3 inning for Jarrod Washburn. 1.5 complete. Jay, take the field. 1-1, M's and Angels. Player to hit 40 or more home runs each of the last 3 years. Think about it. Answer upcoming momentarily. Come down inside the ultimate playground, Edison International Field of Anaheim. Bottom of the second inning, 1-1 game, which includes a home run already by Ken Griffey Jr. and Garrett Anderson checks in to lead things off for the Angels. It'll be Anderson, Nevin, and Bachman to face Jamie Moyer. By the way, I couldn't help but notice Garrett Anderson giving you a little wave before he came up to the plate. Actually, last inning while he was on the on-deck circle.
Garrett's my man. We're good buddies.
That one foul tipped and caught by Wilson. Garrett 2 for 4 last night. His average slowly climbing. Actually pretty quickly now, though, up at the 296 as he stands in. 8 home runs. He hit number 8 on Monday, matching last year's output. So that power stroke is returning. Bent in there nicely for a strike. It's 1-2. Pretty good month so far.
407, yes.
Hello.
I call them good months. I used to take 3 months and combine them.
Add them up. Still barely get to 250. Low, 2-2. Moyer, a finesse pitcher. Really the only way you can describe him. That uncanny control. I recall he hurt his elbow in the playoff game against Baltimore last year, so there was some question about his health coming into the year. Gliding back is Gold Glove winner Ken Griffey Jr. One away. And here's Phil Nevin. Griffey, of course, with 8 straight Gold Gloves, along with 8 straight All-Star appearances. Nevin and Wahlbeck done a great job with Todd Green being out this year, who was penned in to be the #1 catcher. It was 0-for-4 last night. Takes that one for a strike.
I don't think you could say enough about the job Phil's done, though, because here's a guy that was an infielder turned catcher.
Lofted but foul, and he's still learning on the job, Sparky. I mean, every day
He'll be learning for this year and all of next year. It will be the year 2000 before he will have the catching thing accomplished, because that's too tough a position.
You can see the versatility with the Tigers. What a great guy to have when you can fill so many roles on a team and fill them well. And he's always swung a good bat. Nevin finished his 3-game suspension for his part in the melee at Kauffman Stadium earlier this week. He homered in the win Monday at Texas. One's off the plate. 1-2. Todd Green still wondering what to do with the slugging former catcher really now, because he will not catch this year. That has been the word. The home runs, obvious. The power. And what really is a sort of a stocky body. I mean, he's not a big guy at all, is Green. They're going to have to make a decision what to do with him soon. Never thrown out.
He's not real big, Bill, but I wouldn't want him to get me in a bear hug.
No.
Or
Big arms,
or an
short
alley with the lights out, you know what I mean?
We all could take it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, right. I don't even want to try. Here's Justin Bachman. Speaking of that brawl game, Justin Bachman hit his only career home run at Kansas City. That was also forgotten in that mix. That was Washburn's debut. Moyer starts him off with a strike, and he's been ahead of the count now. So, like Washburn, Moyer seems to be settling in a little bit here in inning number 2. Bachman, of course, growing the goatee to hide some of the scars left from the stitches. 60 to 70 stitches after Terry Collins initially exaggerated a little bit, said he took about 200 in the chops.
One's too many.
Yeah, one's too many. Justin, a 95 draft pick. Well, what a great draft that is turning out to be for the Angels when you see that Erstad, of course, was taken #1 overall, and Washburn was also selected, and they're all here playing and contributing and playing great baseball.
Well, I don't think anybody could ever throw any arrows at this scouting department here. I this morning was giving my wife a rundown on it. They have 7 of the players in the game last night in the draft choice.
Bachman there, though, looks at a call third strike, so Moyer routine second. We're through 2 at the end. One based in Carson, California, right off that 405 freeway. Goodyear recently increased its blimp fleet to 6, adding 2 airships in Europe and 1 in South America. Getting us the great shots here this evening. The Goodyear blimp. We are back. What a night for baseball. Hope to see you out here throughout the weekend. Juan Gonzalez in Texas, and then the Dodgers come in on Monday. Dan Wilson starts things off in the 3rd with a looping single to left. He had a home run last night, follows it up right here with a base hit. Is the former #1 pick, Cincinnati, back in 1990. Still only 29 years of age. Here's the number 9 hitter, Russ Davis. And I said when we're going through the lineup, Sparky, how do you like having a number 9 hitter who can hit 20 home runs like Russ Davis did?
That's nice, but they're leading all of baseball in home runs, and they're 13.5 games behind the Angels.
He also leading runners left on base this year. Davis, the former Yankee phenom. All those home runs in the minor leagues, and they thought he was going to translate it into the majors. Has had spurts where he has done well, and you see Tino Martinez. What a deal worked out for the Yanks. This one ripped past Bachman into center field. Wilson's going to take a look but stay right at second because of the cannon of Edmonds. And the first 2 batters have reached base here in the 3rd on the rookie Washburn.
Well, I think right now the last 2 hitters just getting the ball in the middle of the plate. Before he was getting the ball either in or out. Now he's getting it. You can't center that ball in the middle. You do, and you're going to get yourself hurt.
Jarrod's had control and great composure. The tutelage, of course, of Marcel Latchman, a key ingredient. Here's Joey Cora, top of the order. Wilson down at second. Davis at first. They're pinching in now with Hollins and Fielder expecting a bunt here from Cora with the meat of the order coming up. I want to get him in scoring position. Scoring around Cora, foul.
See, this is the thing what I call when I call little men. The guys that don't hit with power and things like that. They have to. They cannot fail. When you ask them to bunt, they must bunt. That's what I've always told young ball players. That's your job. When you're asked to bunt, you make darn sure you get that ball down.
And Cora works the wand perfectly. 4 sacrifice bunts this year. Over the last 5 years, he has 57 bunt singles. So he can lay it down. Washburn, Cora. Lets it go for a strike. Now 0-2. Although it doesn't immediately take the bunt off, it decreases the possibility significantly.
Well, I'll be honest. See, I'd get angry then. And he didn't do this. He'd be bunting again.
Let's see how angry Lou Piniella is. Washburn checks the runner. Cora's swinging out. Took a bite out of him, and the bases are loaded. So an 0-2 pitch up and in, and Joey Cora gets plugged, and he's hurting. And the bases are loaded, and here comes Rodriguez, Griffey, and Buhner. Cora leaned right into that one.
Yeah, watch. He throws himself the bottom half away and throws his upper half out in front.
Right to the forearm. First hit batter in the career of Jarrod Washburn. Bang. Well, the table's set. Here's Rodriguez.
Yeah, but now's when you find out a little bit. This is a case where you'll find out a little bit about Washburn here, because you got the bases loaded, nobody out. Now you want to see just what's going through this kid's mind.
Angels hoping for 2. Pitch. Down the line and just fouled. Rodriguez. There's the number 1 pick in the 1993 draft. He is on pace. Don't you love it in this day and age with all these home runs? Everybody's on pace for something, but he could set the all-time shortstop record, set back in 1958 home run wise. Great Ernie Banks hit 47 that year. 0-2. You know, and it used to be Griffey and Buhner, the great combo hitting home runs. Now it's Griffey and Rodriguez. They've combined for 51, more than 2 entire teams. The Mets 45, the Pirates 46, Griffey, Rodriguez 51, including 1 tonight. And Rodriguez and Segui have power too, and they're chomping at the bit. They want their turn. There are the bases loaded. 3 career grand slams for A-Rod, and he's got to jump out of the way. 1-2.
Yeah, but this young man is showing me something here. He banged him inside and came way in there.
Jarrod Washburn. Heap of trouble. 3rd inning. Nobody out. Bases loaded. And the Mariners Mariners have been anemic this year with the sacks jammed, only hitting .135. Rodriguez trying to rectify that. Pitch ripped to center. Late start for Edmonds. He's not going to get there. 1 run is in. 2 runs are in. The throw goes to third. Cut off by DeSarcina. Core is in there, and it's 3-1 M's. On a 2 RBI base hit by Alex Rodriguez, and still nobody out. Runners at the corners, and here comes Junior.
Hits this ball, watch, right on the end. Just hits him at the end of the bat, broke his bat, and loops it into center field. There's not anything you can do about that.
No, even if Edmonds had read it perfectly, no chance to get that one, although he did break back on it initially. So the rockiest start of his brief career for Jarrod Washburn. And we take you back to the first inning when Jarrod Washburn on a 3-2 pitch faced Ken Griffey.
Watch where this ball is. Right down. Watch how he holds his hands. He holds his hands up high. He can't get to the ball up and in. He can get to the ball up and away from him. But the ball up and away and down and in is where he'll kill you. He will literally kill you.
And that was the 11th home run off of a lefty this year, leading all American League hitters. Core at third, was hit by a pitch. Rodriguez over at first for Lou Pinella's team. And here's Griff. Washburn pitch in there for a strike on 1. We're in the top of the third inning. 3-1 Mariners in last place in the West. You know, you speak about the young age of some of these Mariners. Rodriguez only 22. Griffey just 28. Finished last year ahead of Hank Aaron's all-time home run pace. Washburn will keep Rodriguez close, who developed into a 2020 guy last year, stealing 29 bases. You know, the one thing, Sparky, we talk about the power of this Seattle team. The one thing they do lack is a little bit of speed.
Yeah, they lack speed, and their defense is a little rough.
But they can go deep. 1-1. 3 runs on 4 hits for Seattle. Home run leaders, and they are well ahead of the Angels and the O's. Atlanta over 102. And that number is only going to increase, I think. It's only going to widen, rather, with Buhner back in the lineup, who's hit 40 home runs the last few years. They're on pace for over 258. They hit 264 last year, which was a record in the major leagues. I wonder if their new park next year is going to be as homer friendly. Swing and a miss.
I would have to think that they have built that thing to kind of help Griffey out, to keep him in very good shape.
Have you seen pictures of that new park?
No.
It's a jewel. It could be the best. Safeco Field. I think they're spending close to $500 million to get that thing up and going. Base hit. Cora will score. Rodriguez to third. Anderson to throw. He's in there. And Jarrod Washburn is on the edge now.
That was great base running, though, by Rodriguez. Not too many guys are going to third base on that ball. He never even hesitated.
That's RBI number 62 for Griffey. Garrett Anderson playing it on a couple of hops. You mentioned the good base running by Rodriguez. Jay Buhner. Pep Harris warming up, getting loose. Still nobody out. Buhner a strike. Buhner's RBI totals impressive. 121, 138, 109 the last 3 years. He's also a former Yankee. This one hit hard over the head of Edmonds. Edmonds back. Great catch as he crashes into the wall. Rodriguez will trot home as Edmonds is still down at the track. Griffey retreats back to first for the first out of the inning, but another highlight reel catch for Jim Edmonds. But now, much more importantly, how is he? That was a bullet off of the bat of Jay Buhner. And the crowd roars its approval for number 2-5. The thud into the wall full bore, and then Edmonds the presence of mind to get it back in quickly.
I'm going to tell you something. That's a good catch.
Wonderful stuff by Edmonds. He won his first Gold Glove last year, and he'll stay in. Reckless. But you love to see it out there in center field. Complete sacrifice at all time to get the baseball for Jimmy Edmonds.
Yeah, but Griffey ran the bases unbelievable too. See, he went around second.
And had to touch and come back.
Which he knew, but he went around. If that ball hits, he scores easy.
Here's Segui. There goes Griffey. He's going to steal that easily without a throw. The Angels went to sleep a little bit there. That's stolen base number 5 for Junior. And now he's in scoring position, waiting to see if Segui can pick him up. 5-1 Mariners. Now they're awake out of their slumber from this series. First 2 innings, Washburn retired 6 of 7. The only one to reach was Griffey in the home run. Now trouble. Jarrod checks. Segui 1-0. Look out. Well, that's the third batter this inning who's had to do a little dance.
I thought he had him. I really did. I thought he had him right in the ankle. You'll see here. It looks like he's going to get it. He got out of the way good.
Boy, Segui got nicked up a little bit at first base last night, didn't he? Fielding a throw from Jeff Facero. Been a tough couple of nights for David. Right. 2-1. Washburn trying to work out of it, get back in a groove with Harris seemingly ready now in the pen. Griffey at second. Edgar Martinez on deck. 1 out. That one's hit to center field. Edmonds puts it away. 2 down. And here's Martinez. Which brings up the idea and the debate, of course, of the DH. Edgar being the premier DH over the last few years. Nagging hamstring problems has really forced him into that role exclusively. Former third baseman. There he is, the 2-time batting champ. 92 and 95. And he's starting to warm up with the weather. Griffey down at second. Here's the pitch. Sparky, what do you think about the DH? Yes or no?
You couldn't sell me the DH if
that was pretty obvious.
If you want to give me every state in America.
What do you really think?
It's ridiculous.
Edgar was a little worried in the offseason himself with all the trading league talks about teams that Seattle might have been one going over to the National League, and he would have been out of work basically. Pitch. Took something off of that one, swung on and missed. It's 2-1 with 2 outs. Griffey down at second, already 4 across here in the third. It's 5-1 Mariners.
Yeah, they can hit. When they start hitting a little bit on you, they can kind of beat on you.
They've been beating on the Angels the last few years. The Angels have won the first 4 this year against their nemesis. Washburn ready, the pitch. In fact, you look at how these two teams have done in the division, and that pretty much mirrors their season. Terry Collins' team 10-1 against the West, and Seattle just reverse it. Seattle has done so well in their division over the last 4 years. There's a walk. Being very careful to Martinez. He'd rather face Hill with 2 outs.
What he did there, Bill, is he took a choice, and that's when you can pitch a little bit and when you can catch a little bit. You got a choice. Which one do you want to get this last out? It ain't Martinez. It's Hill.
Glenn Allen, the 9th batter to come to bat for Seattle here in the 3rd inning, which has already been a disaster for Anaheim. They're your Mariner base runners. They lead by 4. Washburn trying to work out of it. Reached Bachman, fielder, and the inning's finally over, but not before. 4 more runs put across by the Mariners. Sprinkle in a little Angel defense in there. Highlight job, Jimmy Edmonds. See if the Angels can start crawling back when we come back after this. Mariners with 4 across in the 3rd lead the Angels now as we move to the bottom of the 3rd. 5-1, and welcome back Bill McDonald, George Sparky Anderson, and next to us, he will be a new inductee into the Hall of Fame this year, and it's about darn time. Former Dodger, former Angel, Mr. Don Sutton. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's nice to be back here with you. And it's nice that that's happening in Cooperstown. But I got to admit, I had some pretty good sized goosebumps down here before the game. I thought about Cooperstown all my whole life, but I never thought about things like this happening. This is special. What a special night.
Before the game, the Angels presenting a great presentation for Don's 300th victory, which came right here in this field. Looked a little different back then, a few years ago.
I like this look a lot better.
Don't you, though? Gary DiSarcina facing Jamie Moyer.
12 years ago tonight, as a matter of fact.
There you go. They picked a perfect evening. Now, before we get into any conversation concerning the Hall of Fame, I got to ask you about that first pitch, though, to Booney. He had to block the plate.
Yes, he
tonight.
did.
You were about 3 feet short.
I was afraid somebody was going to swing at it.
This is looked in great form.
Well, this is my 4th. What is it called? First pitch.
Ceremony.
Yeah, ceremonial first pitch. And if I have to do one more, I'm going to start working out.
Slap into right field for a base hit past Segui. So Desar starts off the inning with a base hit for the Angels as they, as I mentioned, try to crawl back into things here in the 3rd. Here's what happened before the game down on the field. Chuck Finley helping out in the presentation. You admitted that you were nervous down there.
I was very nervous. That's a neat picture. That my biggest thrill in sports, that's after the strike 3 pitch to Gary Ward 12 years ago tonight, and to have Chuck Finley do it. Chuck came to us as a 21-year-old. Bounce, get up there.
There it is. Your former.
But Boone could always pick it, couldn't he, Sparky?
He could always pick it, I'll tell you that.
Here's Darren Erstad.
But there were so many things about tonight that made it special. Chuck Finley, 21 years old that year, from Class A ball up with us, was kind of like a little brother, so we had a great time. And I know it meant a lot to you, Sparky, managing and being around baseball, having tradition and having a theme to go through of people who were there and who knew what happened a long time ago. And so to have Bob here and to have Chuck Finley here couldn't have been any better.
And you know what's interesting? You look at the success that Chuck has had over the years, and he has 149 wins. That's just halfway to 300. You have to endure for a long, long time and be successful.
Yeah, Bill, but this is the one thing that Donald realized after it happens. And I got chills. First time I was ever there to the Hall of Fame for Tommy. I went for Tommy and sat with Joe. And it stunned me. I never realized till I seen those guys come out. They introduced them one after another. I said, that's baseball.
Yep.
That's baseball. And then you realize this. Your name will be there for eternity, as long as this world ends. If it lasts 50 million, 100 million, your name will be in the Hall of Fame. That's the greatest tribute any individual could ever receive.
For the national pastime, America's great game.
See, and our game's different. We don't put in 8, 9 like some of them.
Right.
Basketball, football, 8, 9. We put in mostly 1, sometimes 2.
Which, when you think about it, you have to sweat out a little bit, too, to get in there.
Yeah. That's a
You had your moments.
Agree or disagree with the system. That's a system, and it's worked successfully thus far. It's amazing how I learned I'm supposed to stop when you're...
Oh, no, that's all right. Don is an accomplished broadcaster, folks, with America's team.
No, let me tell you what.
Gary Ward, 2 outs.
This was a thrill. Bob Boone told me later on, he said, did you realize I waited a long time to call the pitch? And I said, no. He said, I wanted to call a pitch that Gary Ward would miss so I could hold the third out of your 300 play.
There's the moment. Doug DeCinces, of course, being there to help celebrate. Wally Joyner.
A bunch of guys who have become and had become my best friends at that time.
That was a wonderful year for the Angels, too, when you won the West. And I know it just still pains me. Dave Henderson is in the booth, just a couple of booths down. He played a significant part of that year, too. Here's a base hit for Dave Hollins. Cruising over to third is DeSarcina. Hollins will have to hustle back to first base. And so the Angels, with runners at the corners now with 1 out.
Sparky, I don't know how you handle it here, but normally working under Skip Carey, he told me when I went to Atlanta, there were 3 little words that if I remembered them and would repeat them every half inning, I would be the greatest announcer to come to Atlanta. And those 3 little words were, that's right, Skip.
Yeah.
Does that work out on the West Coast?
I have a problem because playing against me all my years, I had to be doing something all the time. I would check Don's balls out. I'd check him out. I'd play a game with him. Then I told him one day finally, I said, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm never checking you again. Go ahead and pitch.
And then you guys start kicking my fan.
And then we start hitting him. Yeah. No.
All those years
I don't think we did too much.
That's how you got that white hair.
We didn't do too much kicking. No.
But, you were talking about something before about the people who've gone on to the Hall of Fame. And I think what I would hope is that every young player who's playing now, 10, 12, 14 years old, would get an inspiration from those people who were there before you. Because I know every person that's there some way. I love the history of baseball. It meant a lot to me. And to be sitting up there on the 26th, I know Robin Roberts will be there. I wanted to be Robin Roberts when I was a kid. I wanted to pitch as well as Whitey Ford. I played with Sandy. I wish Don Drysdale could be here. It would mean a lot to me. It would mean a lot to me if Walter Alston could be here, because I know all those people would be proud. But there are so many people there that a piece of each of them when they were playing and when they made the Hall of Fame, a piece of each of those pitchers became me, because I wanted to take some of the best from every one of them. So the overwhelming part of it is not just being in the Hall of Fame, but knowing the people who are there.
Edmonds taps it. Moyer off the hill.
I'll tell you, Donald,
to Segui.
Believe me, I'd never been to that and never would have went had I promised Tommy I would come. I never in my lifetime, just as a spectator, realized the magnitude of the Hall of Fame, and it's going to get you to the point of an emotion, because when they prance those guys out, Pee Wee Reed, you just go on down the line and they prance these guys out and you say to yourself, my goodness, you mean I am now with them?
Yeah, I think that's the day. I think that's the day it hits you. I am one of them.
Oh.
And you know what? You are going to have the great honor of having Sparky Anderson join you in that Hall of Fame.
I know that.
someday.
See, he's just not old enough. That's
Yeah.
the only thing. He's too young. Did you ever think you'd say to Sparky, you're too young,
Can
Sparky?
you believe it? You guys are going to be in there together.
That's a lead pipe sin.
At 218 in Philadelphia, too. That's a good one to have on the resume now.
Ooh, yeah.
The players always used to remind me of that when I try to tell them about hitting. They say, hey, Skip, come on, leave that up.
Leave me out of there?
Yeah.
Let's see, you out-hit me by 75 points, so that's a lead pipe sin.
That right. No, it is. I tell you, it's the most magnificent day I ever spent in my baseball career. And I was in World Series and all that. But I never spent a day like that.
We have a run across for the Angels. It's 5-2 now. DeSarcina scored a few moments ago. Hollins is out at second. Salmon's at the plate. Counts 3-0 with 2 out. We're visiting, of course, with Don Sutton.
Sparky, did you ever hit any dingers?
No.
You never faced me, did you?
No. I never even hit a fence that year.
I gave up 474. How'd I miss you?
Yeah, was it 474? 320, what was it? 326?
324.
324. Now I want to ask you a question. Now, I've always said this. There should be guidelines for one thing, and I will argue that. If a guy has 15 or more years that he averages over 300, he's a Hall of Famer. If if a guy wins 300 games, then we don't discuss him. He's a Hall of Famer. If a guy hits 500 home runs, he's a Hall of Famer. If a guy drives in 1,500 or more runs, he's a Hall of Famer.
And Don,
I mean, my goodness, what do you have to do to get the Hall of Fame?
324 wins for Don Sutton, tied with Nolan Ryan for 12th on the all-time list.
And I heard somebody say, well, he pitched a long time. I said, well, that's even more so.
That's half of the battle. Exactly.
He was around.
They don't let you stick around.
Oh, no.
Too often.
You know, unless you marry the owner's daughter, you don't stay around.
No, that didn't happen. Well, I watch you guys a lot. I have a satellite dish. I was anxious to get my first look at the field here because I had seen it so much on television. I wondered, is it going to be in person as pretty as it is on TV? It's better. They have done a wonderful job here. What a gorgeous, gorgeous place.
It's a baseball park now.
Yeah,
beautiful.
And I think I would have given up fewer home runs here than in the other football stadiums.
It's getting out here pretty quick, though. Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Oh, yeah.
It's not even hot yet.
It's running out of here.
But
Yeah.
it is. That's a great statement you just made. This is a baseball park. More and more, we're getting back to baseball parks, not fish bowls where you can play a lot of sports. And they each have, I think they all have a fan-friendly atmosphere, a family atmosphere, and it's a baseball park. And I like the fact that the numbers are not all the same on the fences. You got some angles and stuff.
Well, I watch you guys all the time because I got that Turner Broadcasting thing, and the Braves, they're on everything.
You can't miss the Braves.
So I catch the Braves on everything.
Wow.
You got to tell Bobby one thing for him. Just tell him, somebody said you're the greatest. I've always told him that ever since he was at Toronto. I used to tell him, you're the greatest. Because I had a pretty good club, and he didn't have too good a club. I'd always tell him, you're the greatest.
We punch out Cecil Fielder, but we say goodbye to new Hall of Famer Don Sutton.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Congratulations.
See you again
All
soon.
the best.
Donald,
We're back with more.
you deserve it.
5-2. And in all of our commotion up here on the field, Cecil Fielder and Jim Joyce in a beef at the end of the last inning.
Yeah, Seth thought the ball was inside. You know, you can't really tell from that angle.
And you're not supposed to argue balls and strikes. And Terry Collins saved Cecil Fielder, I believe. So did George Hendrick. And Jim Joyce actually being extremely patient with Cecil Fielder, not giving him the heave.
Well, I thought Jim did the right thing. If umpires would do what Jimmy did, he walked away. You know, so the guy's upset. Just walk away and let him have a few words.
Mariners batted around last inning, so Dan Wilson, who started off inning number 3 with a base hit and came around to score, back at it again here in the 4th. Angels in the last inning, putting a run across, benefit of an error in the inning. It's 5-2 here in the top of the 4th inning. And before we completely put it to bed one more time, it was nice to have Don Sutton come up here. I know your relationship with him goes back many, many, many years, Mark.
Well, ours goes back as a rivalry, which was great. It was a great rivalry when he pitched for the Dodgers and I was at Cincinnati. But it was one of those very friendly, great rivalries.
And as you can tell, he is deeply, deeply touched by his soon-to-be induction into baseball's Hall of Fame. Dan Wilson, another hit. On Fox Sports West are being brought to you by Gatorade Thirst Quencher. You either have it in you or you don't. Life is a sport. Drink it up. By Cooper Tires. And by your Southern California Chevrolet dealers. So Dan Wilson 2 for 2. And here's Russ Davis. 5-2 Mariners. Glad you're with us here from the Big Ed. On a great night for baseball. Angels in first place by a game with a record of 41-28. Davis in there despite his problems defensively. You saw it again already in this one. 5 errors the last 2 weeks. Russ missed a full month last year with an ankle problem. 18 errors this year. 10 errors in April. Most for all AL third basemen. So he is bad glove, good hit. Russ Davis. I mean, those are huge numbers for Major League ball player infield committing errors. This one is lofted to left. Erstad got it. And back to first Wilson. Cora will step in. Of course, everything's set into motion defensively for the Angels, with Erstad now out left and Cecil at first with the injury to Tim Salmon, forcing him to the full-time DH role. And having to sit and wait and adjust. And another possible DH candidate, Todd Green, sitting with him. Plenty of bats and no place to put them. That's the problem for Terry Collins. Not a bad problem to have either. But again, you know, we talk about it every night, Sparky. Every night. But the scrappiness of this club, with 3 starting pitchers on the DL, key players going down, and it's great coaching. It's great managing. You know who I like in the Angels too a little bit is Cora tries to lay one down and it goes foul. The Giants last year. Here the Giants, great managing and Dusty Baker. Didn't have a great pitching staff. Had, of course, a superstar in Bonds. But nobody thought they were going to win. And they scrapped their way all the way to a title.
Well, my wife is not into baseball, other words, you know, but
Thank
she
goodness
follows
for that, huh?
a little bit of the thing. And she asked me one day last year, she said, what about who manages San Francisco? And I told her, Dusty Baker. She said, I remember him. He played in Atlanta and the Dodgers when you were managing Cincinnati. I said, yeah.
Again, remember, he couldn't lay one down last inning to sacrifice.
And she said, well, he's not supposed to win, is he? And I said, no. She said, well, he'd have to be the manager of the year, wouldn't he? I said, he would for me. I said, well, the same way here right now. If I was going to vote right now, I got to vote for Terry Collins as manager of the year.
Not that the Angels don't have the talent, but because of the injuries and this run that they have put on, very similar in the way that it's a never say die attitude and making the most out of what they have and having the depth. And you got to give credit to Billy Bavasi and the scouting staff and the entire front office for having that depth and pulling the right strings and the right buttons. Washburn, who has stayed in to shortstop. Desar, second one, first base, double him up. That's wonderful stuff. Gary DeSarcina, Justin Bachman, Cecil Fielder. That's sweet for Anaheim. It's 5-2. Jay Buhner now positioned out in right field for the Seattle Mariners. Jay building a new home in the Seattle area. 80 acres for his wife and kids so he can fly, fish, and hunt. And he is very blessed, he said. Working hard and playing well. Here's Garrett Anderson. Yes, sir. Sparky. Yes, that's misspelled. I did misspell his name on my little card here.
No, you did not misspell it.
Yes, I did. I didn't. There's GA as they call him. 5-2 Seattle.
Allowed to spell anyway.
You know, by the way, my spies were out earlier this week. And we gave you the trivia question. Sparky, did you know that you were a question on Jeopardy and Alex Trebek earlier this week? Monday night. Were you watching?
My wife was.
And she told you?
She got it right.
What was it? What was the answer? You were the question. Weren't you? Who was Sparky Anderson?
Yeah.
Well, what was the answer then?
The question was, who won a World Series in both leagues?
No, he won.
He won a
World Series in both leagues. Who was Sparky Anderson? You get on Jeopardy, you are a legend.
Well, you're really good. Yeah. My problem is I could never answer a question if I was on there, so therefore I can't be a legend.
Thank goodness. Celebrity Jeopardy, steer clear, please. What was the category?
I don't know.
Oh.
What are you talking about?
The
I got
daily double.
Watching this game.
This one up along third and foul. 13 managers have managed in the playoffs in both leagues, including Lou Piniella here tonight. Boy, Sweet Lou has had a wonderful career managing after 16 years of Major League Baseball, active and hitting .291. This is his 10th year as a manager.
Lou is one of the only prominent managers that could really play baseball.
There's only a handful of those. Here's Anderson, pops it up. Why is that, Spark? I'm gonna go beyond just baseball, because so many times in other sports too, prominent players try to coach and just don't cut it as much as players who won't.
Well,
tell me why.
Being serious, the reason for it is the fact you're so good at what you're doing that you're not worried or concerned about what's going on. You know, like Stan Musial, he could hit so well, and Ted Williams could hit. They weren't paying attention to all this other stuff. And guys who can't play, they have to work so hard to learn about everything, and that's what happens. They learn about the game. And that's like Earl Weaver, great manager.
There's Davis. To Segui. 2 down. 2 managers, though, that are doing very well in their current capacity, but also were wonderful players. Joe Torre and Don Baylor.
Absolutely.
Great players.
You do have that, but I would say 10%. The other 90 come from guys. Now, Tommy will get mad at me, sort of, because he'll tell you that he is the greatest stuff in the world. I love Tommy. But Tommy was a great manager. He was a great curveball artist as a pitcher, and he had a good one, no question about it, and he'd fight you tooth and nail. But he never, ever became a great one.
Here's Justin Bachman. Jamie Moyer working for Seattle. We're in the 4th inning. Seattle 1 in the 1st on Griffey's home run, 4 in the 3rd. Angels 1 across in the 1st and 3rd. 0-2 now to Bachman, as Jamie Moyer has settled in. 0-2 the count, 2 out, 4th inning. Gary DiSarcina on deck. Bachman hitting .272 as he stands in with a home run and 9 RBIs to right field. Buhner tracks it down. And another 1-2-3 inning for Jamie Moyer. 4 complete at the end. Hope you're enjoying it on Fox Sports West. Mariners lead by. Between the 2 top teams in the AL West, the Rangers come here to Anaheim to take on the Angels, plus other regional action. Coverage begins at 1 o'clock. Check your local listings for the game and time in your area. Here back live at the Ed, 5-2 Mariners over the Angels as Seattle tries to salvage the final of this 3-game set. Hungry. That's what she needed, the hat to complete.
Yeah, but she a sweetheart. Oh.
Hey, a choice between licorice and bottle. That's a no-brainer for her.
No-brainer for any.
Give me the licorice, Mom. Alex Rodriguez, 1 for 2, scored a run, couple of RBIs. Nearing 300 again. Washburn pitches. Popped up. Who wants it? Justin Bachman says it's all mine. And it is. Fighting it a bit. Justin taking that liner off of his face a couple of weeks ago. He has exorcised the demons.
He said
ready to go.
Told his buddies, what's a liner between friends?
He said that it was coming right at me. I thought I had it. He heard Gary DiSarcina saying, "Get 2." The next thing he knew, he was on the ground and everyone was looking down on him.
He got 2, all right.
He got 2 big scars. Here's Junior. Perfect night, including the home run. The moon shot into the seats just inside the pole down the right field line. McGuire's gone deep tonight. Griffey's gone deep as the chase continues. Fouled away. Well, you know you've made it when you've got a video game named after you. You ever played it, Sparky? You ever played any of those baseball? I've got one at the house. The kids play it all the time. Ken Griffey. The amazing thing is when you play Seattle in the game, somehow Griffey always gets a hit. I just don't understand it. Right here he goes down looking.
This ball here is right on the inside corner. Went across to the middle. That ball sailed on him.
So the perfect night no more for Ken Griffey. Here's Buhner. So a tough inning for Washburn. He's retired Rodriguez on a pop out. Griffey on a strikeout. Buhner 0 for 1, but has a sacrifice fly. He was taking a lot of ribbing from teammates early on. He was playing well and they were losing. And when they took him out of the lineup, Seattle would win a game. Especially his good friend Ken Griffey saying, I figured it out. When Jay's in, we lose. Get him on the bench. This one's popped up. The chase. Bachman will give way to Anderson. And a good inning for Jarrod Washburn, getting Rodriguez, Griffey, and Buhner 1, 2, 3. We go to the bottom of the 5th. We're halfway through. 5-2. Live at Edison International Field of Anaheim, Bill McDonald, Sparky Anderson. 5 runs, 6 hits, 1 error, 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors. And we'd like to welcome those viewers who are watching the Twins and the White Sox in a rain-shortened affair on Midwest Sports Channel. We're now watching the Angels and the Mariners. Twins win it 4-1 in 5. Right here, it's 5-2 Mariners. And Gary DiSarcina leads it off for the Angels, who are trying to win their 4th game in a row and sweep the series. Facing Jamie Moyer. Gary DiSarcina, harkening back to a couple of years ago at the plate, hitting .313 out of the 9-hole. Number on his back, an incredible June. And when things are going well, you can saw off some wood and still get a hit. Gary starts the inning with a looper to left. One of the world's most enduring symbols. Gary DiSarcina is one of them. So is the blimp. The Goodyear Blimp Eagle, based in Carson, California, providing us with these great shots. For a look inside the Goodyear Blimp and how it maneuvers, get online. Website, www.goodyear.com. High above the ultimate playground. Now here's a chance, Sparky. Desar leading off the inning in the top of the order. Darren Erstad down by 3 here in the 5th. And Moyer has shown some vulnerability. This is his 16th start. Darren leading the Angels in so many offensive categories. Maybe the most surprising, the home run department, was 16. Held on by Segui. Gary DiSarcina. Erstad's having the kind of year hitting home runs, although not quite the numbers that Brady Anderson had a couple of years ago when Brady knocked 50 out of the yard from the leadoff spot.
Yeah, this guy's not ever going to do those kind of things. Erstad will never hit. I don't believe he might hit 40 someday, but he's not going to ever go much over that. But I tell you what, this is a complete package right here. You look around at ball players and you look for a guy and say, how good will he be? This guy, you can go right out on the limb and say this guy is going to be the real package.
24 years of age, the #1 pick. Former punter for Nebraska. Made the right decision. If he continues on pace, he could challenge 40 home runs this year. Desar wouldn't be going anywhere here, would he? Down 3?
He's not going nowhere.
He's not going anywhere. You're betting. You're putting the whole money clip down. Hey, my eyes lit up.
Sure.
I saw 20 right on top. Moyer back. Yeah, especially against a left-hander with a pretty good move like Jamie Moyer. The veteran knowledge, 35 years old. I mentioned this is his 16th start. Lifetime against the Angels, he's 6-3 in 16 career games. 2-0 against the Angels with the Mariners. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Interesting, Moyer has been involved in 6 shutouts, although not all of his. Seattle 3-3 in the 6 games. 6 of his 15 starts have ended in shutouts this year. His shutout against Oakland, his 2nd this year, was his 5th career last Friday. He's had 3 complete games. He's been the rock in the rotation. Erstad, Segui, second for one, back to first. No way you're going to double up Darren. And covering was Moyer. Would have been a tough double play.
Is that Segui good? He was so quick getting off of there, and he's just got great hands.
David's dad, Diego, opening day pitcher for the Mariners back in 1977. And his dad and Marcel Latchman were teammates back with Oakland, early 70s. It's a small world, isn't it? It's all tied in together.
It's all just a part of the puzzle.
So Darren aboard on the fielder's choice. One out. He's now the runner at first. Here's Hollins, the switch hitting Dave Hollins. On deck, Edmonds. Pretty tough guy to double up right here. He's only grounded into one double play in nearly 300 at-bats. 1 for 2 tonight with a run scored. Moyer will check her stat at first. And the pitch. Ripped. Foul.
Very good high ball hitter from the right side. The left side, he likes that ball down, but he likes that ball up from the right side.
And he got one there out in front of it. Hollins has 8 home runs. But he's down in the count 0-2. Angels down 3 here in the 5th. Looking for their 42nd win of the season. Wasted pitch. 1-2. Washburn. Not quite the fireworks in this start to overshadow his effort as in his first 3. Reaching. Rodriguez drops it. Safe at second base. Angels catch a break. Tough play for Rodriguez going left, but he rushed things a bit, hoping to get 2.
This is a tough play, but he has that play. It hit him on the heel.
Erstad with the quicks down to second base.
See, that ball hit him right on the heel.
They give an error to Rodriguez. Now the Angels with 2 on and 1 out. Disagree on that one?
Well, I go back to Hill in left field.
Anything can happen with that call. It is ruled an error. Each team with 6 hits. They've changed it. They've changed it to a hit. So I guess that scowl that you gave me was seen throughout the press box. They've changed it. The 22-year-old superstar will not have one under his name. Here's Edmonds. He can tie things up with one swing. Jimmy with 13 home runs.
I'm playing in the International League for Montreal, and there was a Larry Raines that played at Toronto shortstop. And every day I'd look in the box score, and it'd say E. Raines the next day. So when we played him, I said, "How you doing, Eddie?" He said, "Well, my name's not Eddie, it's Larry." I said, "No, because they got E. Raines every day in the paper." Every day. I said, goodness. He laughed.
Take a ball. Edmonds 2-1. Good pitch for Edmonds to look at here. Away from the bases. Hollins and Erstad. Pitch to Edmonds. Takes it for a strike. 2-2. On deck is Fish, Tim Salmon. Edmonds sporting a similar look on top of his salad to David Segui, the blonde look. Moyer pitches. Reached. Now let's see if Jarrod. Shovel. Cora. First. Out of the inning. Fool me once, don't fool me twice. Rodriguez turns it with Joey Cora. Washburn back to the hill. Angels down. Anaheim will be that gentleman right there. Back in October 1986, when the Angels were one strike away from their first ever World Series appearance, that guy right there reached out, and took a Donnie Moore pitch over the left field boards. And you know the story. That was the Red Sox and the Angels. It was quite a game. The Angels had a chance to come back and win it in the ninth. Red Sox won it. And Dave Henderson was Mr. Clutch that year. And we'll get to that in a moment. Here's Segui to Anderson. And Sparky, I met Dave Henderson before, and all the pain that he put me through, he's a good guy.
Oh, he's a tremendous person. But I remember that game probably more than any other game because me and my youngest son, Albert, were watching, and we were pulling so hard for Gene Mock. I never pulled for anybody. I was pulling so hard for Gene. And when that happened, I told him, I'm going outside, and I'm going to go wash the car. Come out and tell me if the Angels win. I was so mad. And I went out, and I was washing the car, and I got done washing the car, and he hasn't come out. He hasn't come out yet. Oh, good. And I get inside, I say, Al, what happened? He said, they got beat. I said, oh.
Base hit. Left field. Hustling Erstad. Gets to it quickly. Not quick enough, though. Down to second base.
You know, you never really pull, I don't think, as a manager, you'd be pulling for any specific team because you know them all. But I was pulling for him that day. To me, and I don't understand what people look at, in my opinion, in my 26 years, I say this without a doubt, he was the finest manager I ever managed against. And he's not in the Hall of Fame, and that's wrong. Because if they look at how many games he managed, 3,700 and some games, and he didn't manage good clubs.
Like a golfer, never to win a major. He never made it to the World Series.
And
how does he handle it?
Tremendous.
Does he?
This man is, he's baseball. That's all he was his whole life. I learned so much from him, just watching him and talking with him.
Glenn Allen Hill checking in now for Seattle with Martinez down at second base. 5-2 game. Grounded weakly to short. In comes D. Sarcina. Across to Fielder, staying at second base. 2 outs. You know, I'll never forget the picture of Reggie Jackson, arms around Gene, ready to run out onto the field when that home run went over the fence. The Angels took a 5-2 lead into the ninth inning. I'll never forget it because I was here with my father and some friends. I had one leg draped over the right field short wall. I was ready to run on the field. And devastating is all I can say. But the Angels could have won in the ninth inning. I'll never forget they had the bases loaded. And I think it was either Gritch, I think it was Bobby Gritch, or Doug DeCinces. Popped one up into short right field, and Dwight Evans, Dewey Evans, was out there. Best arm in baseball at the time. There was one out. And Moose Stubing didn't send the runner in third, and rightfully so. But Dwight Evans the next day said, I had never been more nervous. I had never heard a louder crowd, and he threw the ball about 40 feet into the grass. There's no chance he would have thrown anybody out because he was so nervous at the time. Angels wound up losing in extra innings, and I've never been the same since. I think you can tell that. Allen fouled up along first into the dugout.
You'd never know it by your looks, because you've always looked great.
And then, and I know all the Red Sox fans can feel my pain because I was gleefully watching then in the World Series when it happened to them, and the Mets turned the trick on them in the World Series. Just an incredible postseason it was back in 1986. And I guess a trivia question would be Chuck Finley was the one that replaced Donnie Moore in that game when Donnie was pulled out after the home run. Jarrod Washburn, the rookie, on the mound here for the Angels. Back to this one, top of the 6th inning, 2 out, 0-2 count. What about Jarrod's composure and his resiliency, too, after that 4-run 3rd inning?
I really like him. I think he's been excellent. He had 1 inning where he got himself a little bit too much in the middle of the plate, but other than that, he's pitched well.
Wilson to left. Erstad got it. And the Mariners strand Martinez. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Angels still down by 3. Stay with us. Battle for supremacy. The Angels hosting Juan Gonzalez and the Texas Rangers. We start our coverage at 6:30. I'll be there for the pregame show, Angels in the infield. Then Fizz will be back from his travels to join Sparky for all the play-by-play at 7 o'clock. Rangers Angels join us tomorrow live at 6:30. Steve was in Cleveland tonight for that Yankee win. They're ducking for cover over there in the Angel dugout. Edmonds was nice and relaxed. Tim Salmon, Cecil Fielder, Garrett Anderson scheduled up. Certainly it seems, Sparky, as though Salmon is not worsening as far as that condition is, and that was really what was told to him when he was examined and the prognosis was given to him about a month or so ago.
Yeah, that surprised me because I thought for sure. I was completely wrong. I thought for sure a week, 10 days, and he'd be in deep trouble.
Which is the doomsday talk that Mark McGuire actually gave him, amongst others. Marty Cordova had the same injury. But Salmon has really kept himself fit as he can, and taking care of it. And I think the best thing is he's only really gone full out when he knows he has to. He's guarded.
But it's hard for him, Bill, because he likes to play this game and play it hard, and it's got to be tough on him to hold back.
But as evidenced by the last couple of weeks, the power stroke is still there. And this one deep to left. Glenn Allen Hill at the wall. He's got it. So just missing it. Tim Salmon had to reach out for that one. And Glenn Allen Hill, nothing comes easy for number 1 out and left. 1 out. The 1998 law enforcement torch run will culminate at the Special Olympics Southern California Summer Games at UCLA on June the 26th. Over 1,300 athletes will come together and compete in 7 different sports: swimming, athletics, basketball, bocce ball, golf, gymnastics, and tennis. Admission is free. Everyone is invited. More information, 1-800-832-6276. Southern California Summer Olympics Summer Games. I will be there for about the 5th or 6th year in a row as Fox helps sponsor that great event. UCLA next weekend. I'll put a smile on your face. Join us out there. Here's Big Daddy. Jamie Moyer rocks into his motion. 1. Everything's slower with Jamie. Two-one delivery. Hit hard to center. That's Griffey. Watches it. Take a bounce off the wall. Cecil stumbled coming around first. Griffey's throw is cut off by Moyer, of all people, who had to hustle off the hill. So Cecil rockets one to center, and a 1-out double has him standing at second. And when Griffey can't run it down, you know it's a shot.
You don't run his down when he hits a hard like he hits this one. Ball right out over the plate, and he scorched it. Stop his speed, though. You might stumble and do a few things, but his speed will just overcome.
The afterburners for Cecil. That's 31 doubles allowed by the Seattle pitcher, Jamie Moyer, the most in the American League. Couple tonight. Garrett Anderson. Terry Collins said just the other day that it is not a coincidence that the rise of Garrett Anderson coincides with the great run of the Angels. It goes hand in hand.
I agree with him. You know, when he starts to hit, this whole ball club starts to move. I think probably the two guys on this club that make more things happen is Erstad and him.
He missed one game in the last 19 during this great run of the Angels. They picked up 7 games in the standings in the last 17 games. Griffey charging. Couple of steps in. Fielder holds at second. 2 gone. So they're hitting Moyer hard. They're just hitting it right to people right now.
Right now, he's starting to make a lot of pitches out over that plate.
I mentioned the last 17 games when they picked up all the games in the standings. Let's go 2 further, or 2 more, the last 19. Great combination of hitting and pitching. You know, the Angels have lost but 1 out of the last 10. The one game that they lost, who was pitching? Their ace, Chuck Findlay. So you know things are going good when everybody else is picking things up. And there's Chuck. He's had a great year.
I'll take my chances with him, though.
Wouldn't you, though? And he didn't pitch a bad ball game in Texas either. Never played. Hope to see you out here this weekend. The battle for first continues. Texas, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then the Dodgers are in for 2. 7:05 starts both Monday and Tuesday. Moyer the 1-1. Up along third. And there is Russ Davis. I mean, he is just having a horrible year down at third base. And you think, how long can Lou Piniella keep him out there? Costs him a run. Fielder scores. Down to second base goes Nevin. Sparky, you just have to tell it like it is.
Yeah, I think in that case, Lou would tell it like it is.
That's the 19th error. And not to get on Russ Davis because he's in the show and he's playing Major League Baseball, but you keep the glove down in Little League.
That's a lot of errors.
Yeah, that's a lot. And we're in the middle of June. He had some problems against the A's last week that cost him a game. He's been involved in a couple of errors tonight that have cost him a couple of runs. Nevin's at second. And the Angels a chance to pick up another. It's 5-3 now. Bachman. Nice article by Steve Bishop of the Orange County Register for you folks down in Orange County on Justin this morning. A couple of hits last night to snap out of an 0-for-11 drought. There's the young man, now one of 2 rookies on this team along with Jarrod Washburn. Terry Collins gave him the ultimate vote of confidence. You are my man out at second. That's got to be comforting when you come up and you get that kind of signal from your skipper.
My first year in Cincinnati in 1970, how many rookies do you think we left camp with on our club?
I would say none.
8.
It was either one or the other.
We left with 8
rookies. Amazing. Who was the big rookie that year?
Well, Conception, we moved him in and out and brought him along slow. Just let him play against certain pitchers that we knew he would not get overmatched with. And Hal McRae and Bernie Carbo, Wayne Simpson and Don Gullett.
So many of the cornerstones of the Big Red Machine.
All just babies.
Bachman, Segui out of the inning. Russ Davis just wraps it up in a bow for the Angels. Gives them a run. It's now 5-3 through 6. Our comparison. A couple of rocky innings for both. Moyer has not been helped by his defense. Just 1 earned run. Washburn the home run to Griffey, and then the 4-run third for the Mariners. Both with good control, though. And Jamie looking very relaxed, watching Jarrod Washburn work again. And here's our man, Davis, to start things off. And why not? We should talk about it again. Washburn delivers high and away. 19 errors. And Sparky, we were double checking. We were double checking that number. As you said, that's 3 years for some guys down at third.
Yeah, third base, you know, that's an awful lot.
Collins had 29 all of last season. The most in the American League. One out as Garrett Anderson puts the squeeze on it. Weeknights at midnight. Coming to the jungle. It's The Last Word with Romy. Jim Rome tells it like it is, tackling all the topics, mixing it up with the big names in sports. The Last Word. Jimmy Rome, weeknights at midnight on Fox Sports West. Top of the order, Joey Cora. 0 for 2, was hit by a pitch in that 4-run inning, scored a run. After him starts Murderer's Row. He'll take that one for a ball. Angels, I mentioned, at home against the Dodgers. You Angel fans want to make the trip to Chavez Ravine and make some noise? You know there'll be some Dodger fans here in this house on Monday and Tuesday, so you have an opportunity to go up to their park next week on Wednesday and Thursday. Also, the Angels will be in San Diego at the Q on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So the Angels, before the All-Star break, don't leave Southern California. Their road trips, interleague, Dodgers, Padres, and they're back home to face the Giants for 3 and Oakland. As Cora draws a walk and once again high above Edison International Field is the Goodyear Blimp Eagle. All those great aerial pictures. The controls. Pilot John Creighton. Spark, you see Johnny waving at us up there, don't you?
I see Big John. He looks good, too.
Torrance, California. Maybe he can do a little quick turn for us on the blimp. 1998, the 100th anniversary of Goodyear, and the 73rd for its blimp fleet. With one out, now one on. And Cora's a threat to be on the move here. Try to get another run on the board for Lou Piniella. And Nevin and Washburn will get their signals straight. The Angels against the West this year, 10-1. There's Alex Rodriguez. I wonder which they love more. A-Rod's in the bigger letters, so I guess they win out over you, Sparky. Or he wins out.
No, when you're single like that, you win out.
And successful. That's a good pitch.
And 3 brings trucks out in front of your house.
Yeah.
That helps.
The charismatic Alex Rodriguez. Joey Cora. Washburn backing over. They're ready in the Angel pen. If Washburn falters, tires, if Latch and Terry Collins don't like what they see. Remember, Pep Harris was up and really moving in the third.
Well, I'll tell you in a minute why they're doing what they're doing.
Tell me.
Griffey's the next hitter. He would rather have Washburn pitch to Rodriguez and Griffey than Pep pitch to Rodriguez and Griffey. That was his choice. And for me, he made absolutely the right choice.
Last time through the big 3, Washburn got them 1-2-3. 1-2 the count. Jarrod delivers. All the way. Alex Rodriguez, 1996 batting champ at the age of 21. His home runs were down last year to 23, 215 hits. He was the runner-up for the MVP last year. His teammate Griffey was a unanimous choice for the MVP. 1994, he made his debut as an 18-year-old shortstop. Two other familiar names did the same this century. At 18, Tony La Russa robbing you out. Go ahead, Big Daddy. Pick it out of the air and take a hit away. And the double up of Joey Cora and the frustrated Alex Rodriguez. As we head to the bottom of the 7th with the score 5-3, let's take a look at what's coming your way tonight. Here's our score. Angels in front of another big crowd. And here's Gary DiSarcina. Jamie Moyer. We got a new third baseman. Wise choice, Lou Piniella. Jeff Houston is now in.
Going to throw what they call throw the leather at him.
Little defensive switch. Russ Davis out, Jeff Houston in. And we've been a little hard on old Russ tonight. 19 innings on the season. But still his team up 5-3, trying to get out of their funk, the Seattle Mariners. Desar raising to 316 tonight. Gary with a 2-for-2 night, 2 singles, scoring a run. The southpaw rocks and delivers to second base, right under the glove of Joey Cora. So the defense lets down Moyer again. Cora was in position. And another leadoff hit for the Angels. It's Baseball Thursday on Fox Sports West. The one, the only, Big Mac leads the Cardinals in an interleague showdown with David Justice, Jim Thome, and the free swinging tribe from Cleveland. The Cardinals visit the Indians. Baseball Thursday. That's when you're going to watch. Next week at 4 on Fox Sports West.
That will be a big game.
You're going to watch it if you're a fan. Lou Piniella, the slow walk to the pen. And if you're an opposing fan, you can only hope that Lou Piniella can yank the starting pitcher, because the bullpen has not. Spoljaric, Paul Spoljaric, the lefty working out in the pen. And they're going to go to the bullpen. That'll be it for Jamie Moyer. Doesn't retire a batter here in the 7th, and now it gets fun. It's time to dip into the Mariner bullpen when we come back. Only for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Anaheim Angels is prohibited. Jamie Moyer calling it a night. 6+, 8 hits, only 1 earned run, walked but 1 with that great control, struck out 2 in 111 pitches, and he gives way to Paul Spoljaric. He was part of that Jose Cruz Jr. trade back on July the 31st at the deadline of last year. He was acquired along with Mike Timlin from Toronto. Spoljaric off to a horrible start this year. He allowed 13 earned runs in 8 2/3 innings, but his last 10 games, his last 11+ innings, he sparkled. In fact, he has stranded the last 14 runners he has inherited and leads this staff, stranding 20 of 25 runners. That's 80% this year. So Spoljaric gets the ball from Lou Piniella with DiSarcina at first and Erstad, who gave the Angels the lead in the 7th inning last night, up with an opportunity to tie the game here in the 7th. The pitch. Ball 1.
And they got Ayala pumping up quick in the bullpen. Lou knows one thing. He keeps them ready and pumped up.
He's got Ayala, Slocum, Timlin. All possibilities out there. There's Bobby. The stoic Lou. In there for a strike for Spoljaric. Spoljaric, Canadian, born in British Columbia, 27 years of age. Erstad 1 for 7 career against Paul. Ready and waiting with Desar getting the throw. 1-1's the count. 5-3 Mariners lead. They have lost 22 of 32, 4 in a row. They're 6-23 against teams with winning records. They're 1-9 in their last 10. And they need this to jumpstart themselves against the Angels. Pitch. Up the middle. Off the glove. That's going to benefit the Halos. He is safe. And going to third base is Gary DiSarcina. What a heads-up play by DiSar. If that ball gets through, it's at least 1, maybe 2. But Jarrod gets a glove on it. The Angels in business. Runners at the corner.
If Jarrod doesn't touch that ball, it's an automatic double play. Look where this ball is. That ball was directly to the shortstop's left at the bag.
And he steps on the bag and throws and even gets Erstad. Gary DiSarcina with nobody covering the bag. Gary takes the free base. And the crowd now starting to get involved. Here's Hollins. Nobody out. 30,268 tonight at the Ed. Low. Hollins only 3 RBIs in his last 22. Johnson conferring with Moyer. Great time to break out of that RBI slump. He got all of those 3 in that game against Arizona last Thursday, including a 2-run home run. 2-0. Over at third, Gary DiSarcina. At first, Darren Erstad. What can be going through the mind of that man? 13 blown saves already this year. On deck, Shipley. In the on-deck circle, it's Edman's spot. Remember, Jimmy earlier in the game crashed into the center field wall, making a catch. Quite possibly. There's Edmonds scheduled. That's the card that Terry Collins checks. Inside, 3-1. So a pitch away from loading him up. There's Jimmy Edmonds. If you're destined to win, if it's your season, these are the kind of games you can come back and win. Out of the way.
Well, Lou knows. I've been there. Lou knows that it's going to happen. You just sit there and you know it will happen. They have done everything tonight they could possibly do to give this game away.
He's tried them all this year. He's run them all out there more than once, trying to find the right arm, the right combination. Runners away. 3-2 pitch. Out of the way. Remember how tough Hollins is to double up. Very difficult. But the Angels not wanting to run themselves out of an inning. The tying run, Erstad was not moving on that 3-2 pitch.
No. No. Line drive, double play, and you're in deep trouble. You're taking yourself right out of the game.
Now he goes. Popped up. Not nearly deep enough to score a run unless they confuse. Griffey coming on and it drops. The run will score. Everybody safe. How do you do? Alex Rodriguez gave up on it, thinking that Griffey was going to come in. Actually, Rodriguez was covering second base. That's why he didn't have to jump to get the ball.
But he couldn't catch that ball. That ball has to be caught by the outfield.
DiSarcina waiting, knowing that if it's caught, he's not going to score. The only way he's scoring is if it falls. He spikes the plate. One-run game, still nobody out. And Craig Shipley will hit for Edmonds. Nightmare continues. Moyer still can win this thing. Needs a little help from his friends. 5-4 ball game. Bunt. Jarrod, no! That's the second hit of the inning off of the glove of Paul Jarrod. Bases loaded, and here comes Salmon.
Lou, let me tell you something. That there ball there, all you have to do is wait, let it drop, and then throw.
That was a tough pitch to bunt. That was up around his eyes. A little shovel. You've got one of the swiftest Angels in Darren Erstad who beats the throw.
You see what just happened out there? You see who took the pitcher out? That's the pitching coach. And Lou always comes out and does it. Right now he's had enough.
Jamie Moyer. 1 earned run tonight. He still has the lead, but the bases are full of Angels. When we come back, Bobby Ayala tries to stop this Angels surge. The joint is jumping. Why not? The Angels coming back again, trying to bring out the broom and sweep the Mariners here in mid-June as summer is upon us. Bobby Ayala is the new pitcher. Jamie Moyer went 6+, allowed but 1 earned run, 3 overall. The defense let him down, and he's watching the bullpen as usual throw gas on the fire. Here's Ayala. Last 5 games, he's allowed 8 runs on 11 hits in 6 2/3 innings. He lost back on June the 2nd at Baltimore, his 3rd straight loss. His last save was all the way back on May the 12th. So he fell out of favor after winning that job, the closer role, during April and the beginning of May. Bobby Ayala. Bases loaded. Jarrod Washburn. Well, didn't we tell you at the beginning? He takes the mound. Something interesting is going to happen.
I've seen pitchers like that and have a season like that where everything works for them.
Let's set the Angels on the bases. Erstad's at 3rd. Hollins at 2nd. Shipley at 1st. And the cleanup hitter, the man who drives the bus, Tim Salmon, with nobody out, facing Bobby Ayala. Defense is back, looking for 2. They'll give up the tying run to try to squelch a big inning. Pitch. High. On deck, Cecil Fielder. Pitch to Salmon. Swung on, hit the center field. It's going to be deep enough to score Erstad. We'll see about Hollins going to 3rd to the track. Shipley's coming to 2nd base. He's in there. The Angels move up 90 feet, and we're tied at 5. And that young man is back in the game. Salmon delivers, but that one just carried Sparky all the way to the track.
Yeah, I thought it was going to continue to carry. It looked like one of those balls that got up in the air and wouldn't come down.
Bobby Ayala looking for a strikeout. And he's got a man that he wants up there that does strike out frequently, but also the Angels have a man with power, infield in. Fouled away. So Salmon, 10 RBIs in his last 7 games, including a sacrifice fly tonight. We're tied at 5, still 1 out, so the Angels can take the lead on and out. Hollins over at 3rd. But as you see, the infield is playing in. Ayala set at the belt to Cecil. He's in the hole, 0-2. Part of all the fun this weekend. This crowd of over 30,000 enjoying themselves at the Ed There's your go-ahead run, and Dave Hollins. Shipley down at second. The 28-year-old Bobby Ayala for Lou Piniella. Delivers. Race to center field. This will get the run in. Griffey the catch, and the Angels have the lead, 6-5. Moyer's night, a disappointment. Cecil Fielder and Tim Salmon delivering sacrifice flies. And all he can do is sigh.
They'll pitch very careful here to Anderson. They're not going to let Anderson hit anything.
Now the insurance run is out at second base now with Shipley. 2 outs, 3 runs across. Angels scored 3 last night. They were down 2-1. They took a 4-2 lead. Anderson again. So Griffey will make all 3 outs here in the inning. But the Angels score 3, and the crowd appreciates the effort. Jarrod Washburn back to work, but now with the lead. Angels 6, Mariners tonight here at Edison International Field of Anaheim. And the Angels have stayed in the game because of some defense. Edmonds in the 3rd. In the 4th, DeSarcina starting to double dip.